Merry Christmas, singers. This is December 25th, 2020, and I am so excited to bring you a podcast. This podcast just keeps growing effortlessly. I think I'm almost at 20,000 downloads on this podcast. I am so excited to put out more content for y'all in the future. It's just, I don't really have any excuses other than I've just been busy doing other things, but this podcast keeps wanting me to feed it. So I'm going to do that in 2021. You'll hear more from me. I want to start really quick by just letting y'all know to contact me over email at voiceofjennylyn@gmail.com if you're interested in going into either voice lessons this upcoming year. I do online video chat voice lessons. If you are interested in my mentorship program, this is where we create and build dreams, okay? The dream life for the passionate artist. You guys can go ahead and email me about that. Tell me a little about yourself. I'm going to be having some special packages and programs. I can also let you know about different resources that you all can get from me online, following me on social media, purchasing my ebook, A Beautiful Voice, etc. Okay. So I guess I want to start really quick with voice lesson tip of the day. And this tip is something a little outside the box of what I normally give, but it's how to deal with this endless cough. So I have had basically a cough every winter for years. For years. I got a really bad bout of bronchitis when I was in college one winter. Really, really terrible. And I had to go on antibiotics. And ever since then, I noticed like I always got a cough in the winter, and it would last through the coldest months, usually from it would come like November, like October, November, and it would go until like January, February, sometimes even March. And so I would tell myself every winter, like, oh my gosh, I'm going to get my cough. I'm going to get my cough. I'm going to get my cough. And there was a doctor that I knew, and he told me, he's like, it's probably like a seasonal allergy type of thing. Well, I think that's true, but I think more than anything, what it was that I kept telling myself I was going to get a cough. Excuse me. And when you tell yourself something, you really sort of wire your brain and your mind in that direction. And so lo and behold, when I would tell myself that, of course, I would get it every year. Now, I'm a firm believer in loving all parts of your body. I'm a firm believer that even sicknesses and illnesses are aspects of you crying out for love. And so I take a very spiritual perspective on health. I think that's why, other than my cough, I've always been in essentially pretty supreme health. I'm only human. I've had my own minor health problems through the years, but very, very minor, and things that always went away. And so, like, for example, it's not like I never get the flu. I've had the flu, I haven't had it in years actually, but I used to get the flu every once in a while. And it would come and it would go, normal things. Like I remember having, I've had like a UTI before. I've had, what else have I had? Just minor things that have come up. And, I've always recovered very well and just overall been in really good health. And my father, who's from Korea and had a very sort of, Eastern style view of the body and of health, used to tell me all the time, we're healthy. We're a healthy family. And my father was always very healthy. He was sort of this tall, 6 foot tall, very sort of athletic, muscular, handsome man. Quite frankly, my father was very handsome. And he used to work out, but nothing crazy. Like he would go for walks. He would go for swimming in the pool. He liked to play racquetball. He would go to the gym and, lift weights a little bit. But I never recall my father like really overextending himself, just sort of leisurely exercise. He always ate everything in moderation. And he was very healthy. And he was healthy his whole life. And so I think what I adopted from that is that health is also a mindset. I'm not saying there aren't other things that contribute to it, but I believe that health is ultimately a mindset. So something I started doing this year, because I, of course, can't come the fall, I started getting my cough again. And so I recognized the pattern of constantly thinking about this cough in my mind, which is very annoying considering I'm a singer, a voice teacher, a mentor. Like I have a podcast, I have a YouTube. I basically make my living using my voice. So to be coughing for 3 to 6 months out of the year is very, very obnoxious. So what I started to do this year was I started to affirm in my mind, I'm always healthy. My lungs are healthy. My throat is healthy. And I also started to love my cough. I know that sounds funny, but when I would cough, I would have fits of coughing. I would put my hand on my chest where I could feel like the parts of me that were inflamed or bothered. And I would send love to that area of my body. And I would almost like the cough was like a little toddler, like throwing a temper tantrum that just wanted to be loved and hugged and kissed and held. And you guys know how toddlers are. They're the most precious and fun little beings, but they do have their tempers and they do have their flare-ups. And part of the reason why is because they don't feel heard yet. They're still developing their language. They're still learning how to communicate. So sometimes all a toddler can think of to do is to throw themselves to the floor and start kicking and screaming and crying. So I sort of viewed my cough as like a little toddler within me. And I put my hand on my chest and I would just send love to the cough. And I would say, it's okay. I'm here. I love you. You can be here as long as you need to. I'm here. I'm not going to try to like hate you or force you away or be angry at you anymore. Like, it's okay. I'm here. I love you. And instantaneously, within a minute, I noticed my coughing subsiding. It was very strange. It was a very spiritual thing. Within a minute, I could feel my coughing coming down. It didn't go away completely, but I could feel it was going. I was having like fits of coughing, like horrible coughing all morning. And I felt it go down to just like kind of a minimum, like just one, like, regular cough a minute or something like that. Excuse me. And so, then as the day went on and I kept giving my cough love, I started noticing like what felt like, inflammation and pain in like my lung and trachea and throat area. I noticed that started subsiding too. Like even now you guys can hear in this podcast, I'm coughing a little, but it's not like a deep inflamed, like bronchitis, like type of cough. And so I've been doing this, practicing loving my cough and not resisting it and accepting it and loving it while simultaneously affirming in my mind what I want to be, what I want to manifest, which is I want to have healthy lungs, a healthy, throat area. I want to be vibrant. I want to be extra healthy in the winter, etc. Right? So I'm affirming using I am statements. I am healthy. I am extra healthy in the winter. I have healthy lungs and throat. And so I'm affirming what I desire while anytime the cough flares up, I just send it love, acceptance, and like attention, quite frankly, almost like it's a little toddler that needs love, kisses, and attention. And I have noticed over the last 2 weeks, my cough has almost completely subsided. No medication, no cough syrup, no nothing. I used to notice a correlation between coughing and dairy, especially in the winter. I was like very, very susceptible to allergies of dairy just in the winter time, not in the summer. And I decided I wasn't going to cut dairy. I wasn't going to do anything different. I was only going to switch up basically my mindset about my cough. And I noticed that my cough was subsiding more and more every single day, to the point where now, yes, you've heard me cough a couple times in this podcast, but they were very small coughs, nothing deep or infected or inflamed. And for the most part, you can tell my voice is very comfortable and I'm feeling very, very well. So that is my little tip of the day. If you are an artist, especially a performing artist, and you rely on essentially having a healthy throat, you rely on not having a terrible cough or a cold or something like that. I want you to send love to that area, as though placing your hand on that area of your body in love and sending it love and acceptance, treating it like a little toddler that's crying because they have a toothache and they don't know how to stop it or communicate. Love it, embrace it, accept it, and receive it. And at the same time, once that's over, once you've moved on from that moment, when it comes up, just affirm in your mind using I am statements. I am healthy. I am vibrant. I am energetic. I always have a healthy throat. I always have healthy, breathable, free lungs. You do both of those simultaneously, and I believe you will have a miraculous healing, as I have had myself. Okay, so what else do I want to say in this podcast? I just want to talk a little bit about manifesting dreams and how we go about this. Excuse me, let me swirl my coffee here. I have my favorite coffee. This is Blue Bottle Coffee from, it's up in the San Francisco area near Stanford, actually, near Palo Alto. Blue Bottle Coffee is one of my favorite coffees in the country. I'm a coffee lover, and I'm a coffee snob too. Like I can't do regular coffee. It has to be delicious. It has to be like good beans, preferably organic. So Blue Bottle Coffee is very interesting because they have really delicious, strong espresso and good milk. And then they put a little bit of spice in it. I think it's like a little bit of, I don't know, like chicory root or something, like a couple different spices, just a little dabble of it in their coffee with some sugar. And it's very, very good. Okay, so manifesting dreams. So this is something that I have been opening my voice students up to in my studio throughout the past year. I've been tapping into this. I will be going full throttle in 2021. One of the programs I'm releasing for this next semester, no promises in the future, because I've learned to remain very flexible in my work. I've learned not to be married to any one concept, because new creative ideas for growth and expanding myself and my clients always are coming to me. But one of the ideas that came to me recently was to create a combination program, and contact me over email if you want this, at voiceofjennylyn@gmail.com. It's a combination program. It's going to be over video chat, unless you live in New York City. I'm actually moving to a beautiful apartment in Manhattan. I'm so excited. So of course, students are welcome to come to my apartment and study with me in person. However, most of these things will be done over video chat with my students all across the country. And I'm introducing really what I call at this point a combination program. The combo program it's half voice lesson, half mentorship with me. The girls staying with me for a while. Like, I'm thinking of creating it in the context of like maybe an hour and a half or so of their time with me. And so the first half will be a traditional voice lesson. A traditional voice lesson with me includes vocal warm-ups and exercises. It includes usually some kind of confidence building, performance expertise, analysis of really great singers, sometimes a little musical theory or sight reading, like something a little more analytical, little section of analytical in the lesson. And then we move on to just singing songs. And that's a combination of the songs my students are working on for their own repertoire, as well as from time to time, I will introduce a song to them that I want them to learn, just because I know it's going to be perfect for their voice. And then the second half of the session, of the combo session with me, is a mentorship session. And what this is dream building and how we build dreams. And this is how I've built my dream career, which is what you see now. For me, my dream career was having a home-based business, doing most of my stuff over the internet, doing things I love so much. I would essentially do them for free if we didn't have to pay bills and live in currency on this planet. I would do it for free, and to make good money for my time. Essentially, that was my dream job. I also don't like to work full time, so I typically don't work more than 30 hours a week. So I am living my dream, and I have my dream career. I'm doing essentially, like I said, what I would do on the daily for free if we didn't live in a currency system. And how I was able to build this dream life where I'm able to use my gifts and my talents and all the things that bring me joy in order to help other people, basically, and inspire and encourage other people, was a series of sort of, I guess I could call them manifestations that have happened in my life to bring me to this place that I am right now, to bring me to you now here on this podcast, where really, quite frankly, effortlessly, I am approaching 20,000 downloads. Now, when I say effortlessly, I mean effortlessly. I don't teach hustle. I teach joy. I don't teach a salmon swimming upstream. I teach get on the raft and flow gently and merrily down the stream to your dreams. I teach being in alignment with your greatest gifts. Everybody has their zones of genius. I have not had one client come to me in my 10 years of working with clients that did not have her own unique zone of genius. So what it is, it's about not only about understanding yourself and tapping into your greatest gifts, talents, passions, and zones of genius, but it is about aligning your life with that in order to produce successful, amazing results. The key to that, the number one way we do that, is through a proper mindset. So that's really essentially what the mentorship time with me is. It's a fun time of discovering who you truly are and what you truly have to offer the world, and basically getting your mind focused there. What we focus on expands. This is why you guys will not hear me saying a lot of negative things. I am very careful to focus my mind on the things I truly want and truly desire. I do not allow negative thinking, toxic thoughts, self-hate, and insecurities to take over my mind. This is the key to having your dream life and career. For those of you listening to this podcast, I can pretty much tell you that probably all of you dream of a life and a career filled with creativity, artistry, and in particular, probably music and singing. How that unfolds for the individual is always unique. Always. And that unfolds organically and effortlessly through lots of joy when one will focus their mind properly, a little bit of discipline of the mind, and align themselves with their truth, really, with their gifts, with their talents. I learned this, like working with clients over the years. Excuse me. Working with different voice students and different mentees over the years, being a professional singer myself, working in opera companies and working with, jazz singing groups and things like that. I've seen the heartbeat of artists my whole life because I've been doing this since I was 10. And I see that the key difference between the artist that goes on to live her dreams, which is rare. It's not rare in my world. Like my students and mentees go on to live their dream life. But if I look out into just the real world, I feel that there's a lot of people with so much potential in the arts and creativity that do not go on to do that. At some point, they just sort of give up and move on. And it's mostly because their mindset wasn't right. They let their negative thinking, self-hate, toxic mindset, sad past stories that have occurred in the past basically get the best of them. And so eventually, you're only human and you get so discouraged that you just give up, and then you go and, you just get some other job and you're not happy. Because what you were meant to do is something in alignment with your joy and your passion. And I have found that when it comes to becoming an excellent singer, and then to go on to use your voice in whatever capacity that is. For some people, it's just being a straight singer. For many people, it's segueing into other aspects of the arts where they will use their voice at the same time. And for you guys would be surprised how many singers go on to be like entrepreneurs, to be like YouTube, influencers, to be, just like to create a really cool product line, like to go overseas and do amazing things with their life. So there's many different, there really and truly are endless avenues that a well-trained, confident, beautiful singer can take. And so I have noticed throughout my years of working with singers, there's really never one same path. Everybody has to figure that out for themselves, which is what we do together in mentorship sessions. And I have noticed that singers that can get their mind right, singers that can rewire their conscious and subconscious mind for the things that they dream of and truly desire, are the singers that go on to realize that in real time. The singers that decide, and I have my singers do this when they're with me, to make a decision that they are an amazing singer, to make a mental, cognitive, conscious and subconscious decision that they are emerging into their greatest voice, that their voice is so unique, it's like a fingerprint. There's no one that could replicate it, that their voice is the most beautiful voice that they have ever heard. Like it's a falling in love with your own natural, primal voice. When a singer is able to love her own voice, then everyone else around her that hears her loves her voice too. When a singer is able to embrace her natural primal sound instead of trying to be like another Katy Perry or trying to be another Etta James or trying to be another Britney Spears, right? You're just trying to be you, is when that voice emerges that is so unique. It's as unique as a fingerprint, and people can recognize it from, any side of the world. It's when a singer basically makes an internal shift in her thinking that she's able to arise this amazing artist. In addition, when it comes to her actual real life of actually segueing that talent into a career. And, I always let people know this. Not everybody has to have a career. There are plenty of women out there that don't work and they just are very artistic and very creative and they have amazing voices and they use that in the home. Maybe they're full-time homemakers, or maybe they're just full-time housewives and they support their husbands in their career. So I'm not pushing that every woman has to even have a career. I make that very clear to my voice students and my mentees. Like, having a career in the arts, it's quite consuming. It's very joyful and very fun, but it's quite consuming. It has really consumed my life. It has been really it's really been my obsession in my life, has been my career. And I do like to point out to everyone listening here that may not be for you. Not every woman wants an all-consuming life career as an artist. There are many singers that come to me that just want to be phenomenal, super confident, and able to sing anywhere and everywhere that they want at any time. They also want to be able to build up their own self, eventually get married and have a family, and just be able to use their passion for the arts within the context of their family. So it can go any which way, gals and guys. It can go from being a full-blown professional singer and that's all you do night and day, all the way to just being a singer that is amazing, that uses her art and her creativity in her everyday life. But I have seen that people are able to build their dream life and dream career, as I have done, once they begin to align, rewire the mindset. Rewire it. Rewire it for only the things you truly desire. So, I was talking to my friend from LA, and he and I were talking. He's a CPA. He works for a Big Four accounting firm, and he's very smart, very powerful guy. I'm very proud of him. And he and I were talking, and he's like, you know what, Jen? It's just such a mind game in my career, in a corporate career. He's like, it's just such a mind game. And I'm like, you know what? He's so right. It really is. It's a mind game, guys. Everything else is play and fun. Your voice lessons are fun. Mentorship time with me is the highlight of your week. Going out into the world and singing and, auditioning and performing and being at home locked in your room and writing music and creating songs and rehearsals and, all of this stuff is basically a chance to laugh and sing and dance and play and enjoy life in and of itself. There's no better way to do life than to just laugh and sing along the way. The discipline comes a lot less so in the everyday grind and practice. That will become organic and inspired once one gets their mind straight. So really the biggest component of the puzzle is just a healthy, positive, dream-oriented mind. And just always remember, there's no one dream path for any person. When I say dreams, some people are going to have big dreams like I want to win a Grammy, period. Other people are going to say, I want to own a record company, period. I have to be a multi-millionaire. And other women will say, I would like to be a homemaker. So there's no one size fits all, but we have to honor whatever our dreams are. And we have to stay focused on A to B. Where are we going? And it's mostly a mind game. Everything else is play. Merry Christmas, everybody. I am so excited about 2021. I had a beautiful 2020. Many of my dreams were manifested and realized. And I want to continue to share that beauty with you all. Please contact me if you're interested in working with me in order to create your most fabulous 2021. Yeah, that's it. Merry Christmas, everybody. Have a beautiful day.